Dear friend, the moment you paused and clicked on this video is not a coincidence. And I say this not to move you emotionally, but because something deeper is happening within your very soul. Perhaps you are too exhausted to keep pretending that you are fine, too worn out to explain to others what you are going through. You have tried to be strong. You have tried to stay in control. You have tried to keep everything from falling apart. But inside, you are cracking little by little. And today, right now, God sees all of it, including the things you have never spoken aloud to anyone. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you are weak, but a sign of a person who has carried too much in silence. God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you. And He has ordained this very moment so that you can hear what you need to hear most. You are not here by accident. You are here because your soul has cried out, and God has answered. Perhaps you have prayed many times without seeing an answer, cried through the night without anyone knowing, and wondered whether God is still listening to you. But listen to this slowly, because it is meant for you. God knows exactly where you are, and He has not lost you. He does not look at you with disappointment. He looks at you with deep compassion, like a father watching his weary child come home. You do not need to be strong anymore in this moment. You only need to be here, to listen, and to let peace begin to seep into your heart. God is much closer to you than you think, right in the very breath you are taking at this moment. If this message is touching you, take one small but powerful action right now. Write in the comments this confession of faith as a seed sown into your own life. Lord, I release control and trust in you. Do not take this action lightly, because sometimes healing begins with a simple but sincere word. When you write it out, you are acknowledging that you no longer need to carry everything alone, that you are willing to let God intervene. And if you know someone who is suffering in silence, share this video with them as a way of saying, you are not alone. We walk this journey of healing together, not alone, but in the presence of God. In the book of Psalms, there is a verse I want you to hold tightly in your heart. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. What does that mean, if not that God is especially near to you in the very midst of your pain? He does not stand far off to watch. He does not wait for you to become perfect before drawing near. He is right there in the midst of your brokenness. Every tear you have shed is not meaningless, not forgotten, not fallen to the ground in vain. There is another verse that says, He keeps count of your tears and records them in His book. Do you understand how profound that is? That your pain is remembered in heaven? King David, who wrote many of the Psalms, was not the perpetually strong man we often imagine. He had known fear, had been hunted, had fled in the darkness of night and felt loneliness to his very core. He wept, he cried out, he questioned God in desperation. But what set him apart was not that he did not suffer. It was that he continued to turn toward God in the midst of that suffering. He said, "Be still and know that I am God." That is not a command to do everything. It is an invitation to let go. be still is not giving up. It is trusting when you no longer understand what is happening. Be still is when you stop trying to control every outcome and begin to surrender control back to God. Perhaps you have grown accustomed to handling everything on your own, to always being strong, to always standing firm. But today, God is saying to you, you no longer need to do it all alone. He does not require you to be perfect. He only requires you to trust. And sometimes, trust is the hardest thing, but also the most healing thing. When God is silent, it does not mean He has gone away. It often means He is working in places you cannot yet see. You may be waiting for a clear answer, a concrete sign, an immediate miracle. But God often chooses to work in quiet. That silence can cause you anxiety, make you wonder whether your prayers have gone unheard. But the truth is, in the longest silences of your life, God is building the deepest things within you. He is not only concerned with outcomes, He is concerned with the person you are becoming in the process. And that process, however slow, however painful, is precisely where miracles begin to take shape. Remember the story of Job, a man who lost nearly everything in a short span of time. He lost his family, his possessions, his health, and even the understanding of those around him. There were days when he received no answer from God, only a prolonged silence that made his suffering even heavier. But God never abandoned him. God was allowing a process to unfold in order to reveal something greater. In the end, not only did restoration come, but also a deeper understanding of God Himself. What you are going through may not mirror Job's story, but the feeling of loss and waiting is very real. Abraham, too, had to wait for God's promise for what seemed like an endless stretch of years. He was promised he would become the father of many nations, but time passed with no sign of fulfillment. Perhaps there were moments he doubted, moments he questioned whether he had truly heard from God. But God's promise is never forgotten. Its timing simply does not match what people expect. Delay is not denial. It is preparation for something greater. And when the time came, what God did far exceeded anything a human mind could have imagined. Joseph is another example of a journey filled with pain, but not without purpose. From being a beloved son in his family, he was sold into slavery by his own brothers. He was falsely accused, imprisoned, and forgotten through long years with no way out. Seen from the outside, it appeared to be an unbroken chain of failures, a life shattered. But every step of that journey was part of a larger plan God was carrying out. In the end, the very things that had wounded him became the path that led him to a position where he was used to save many lives. Dear friend, perhaps you too are in a season where nothing seems to be moving forward. You pray, but see no answer. You try, but see no result. You hope, but are met with delay. That does not mean you have been left behind. It may mean you are in a season of preparation. God is shaping your heart, softening what has hardened, healing wounds you have not yet recognized. He is building within you a foundation strong enough to hold what He is about to give you. And that takes time. It requires patience. It even requires the tears you have already shed. Let me tell you about a man. Let's call him Carlos. Carlos was a hard-working man who always tried to control everything in his life. He worked tirelessly, tried to secure finances, protect his family, and keep anything from collapsing. But then, within a single year, he lost his job, lost his income, and began to feel everything slipping beyond his reach. He pushed himself harder. The more he tried to control, the more out of control he felt. Until one night, when he had nothing left, he prayed a prayer that was simple but utterly sincere. Lord, I can't do this anymore. It was not a perfect prayer. It was not a long, eloquent prayer, but it was his most honest prayer. And from that moment, something began to change. Not immediately on the outside, but within him. He began to release the pressure of having to control everything. He began to believe that there was one who was holding what he could not hold. Small opportunities began to appear. Doors began to open in ways he had not expected. Not everything became perfect overnight, but he no longer felt alone. And over time, he did not merely recover. He found a peace he had never known before. You may not be Carlos, but you may be standing at the very same point he once stood. A point where you recognize that you have given your best, and it still was not enough. A point where you begin to understand that some things lie beyond human capacity. And that is not failure. That is an invitation to let go and trust. God does not require you to save yourself. He only invites you to hand over the burden. And when you do, you will not lose anything. You will be made lighter. Lord, I come before you with a weary mind and a heart full of anxiety. I carry the burdens I have tried to conceal, the fears I do not know how to speak to anyone. I confess that there have been times I tried to control everything instead of trusting you. I confess that I have been afraid, that I have doubted, that I have felt alone in my very own battle. But today, I no longer want to hold on to all of these things. I want to lay them down at your feet, every single one, holding nothing back. Lord, I give you my worries about the future, the questions with no answers, the things I cannot understand. I give you the burdens of finances, work, family, and health. I give you even the painful memories and the wounds that have not yet healed. Please heal the places I cannot reach. Please renew my soul. Teach me to be still, not because I am giving up, but because I trust you. Teach me to rest in your presence, even when circumstances have not yet changed. Lord, please replace my fear with your peace. Replace my worry with trust. Replace my weariness with new strength every day. I believe you are at work, even when I cannot see it. I believe you have not forgotten me, not abandoned me, not moved away from me. And today, I choose to trust you, even though I have not yet seen the answer. Dear friend, hold on to this as you leave this video today. God has a plan more beautiful than what you can see right now. What you are going through is not the end. It is part of a larger story. You may not understand it yet, But one day, you will look back and see that God guided you every step of the way. Keep trusting. Keep walking, even if you walk very slowly. And if you need a place to return to, subscribe to this channel so we can continue this journey of healing together. But before you go, allow me to stay with you a little longer in this quiet, where there is no pressure to be strong or to pretend you are okay. Because sometimes what we need most is not a quick solution, but a gentle presence that does not leave us. You have grown accustomed to picking yourself up every time you fall, wiping your own tears and pressing on without anyone knowing. But today, you do not have to do that alone anymore, because God is here, and He is not in a hurry to leave. He is not watching the clock to see whether you have prayed long enough. He does not measure you by your achievements or your endurance. He is simply there, patient, listening, waiting for you to open your heart, even just a little. Perhaps deep within, you are still holding on to a portion of worry you are not yet ready to release. Perhaps it is a fear about the future, a relationship that is fraying, or something you cannot control. You say you believe in God, but you are still holding a part back to handle yourself because you are afraid that if you let go, things will get worse. That is very human. It is very real. And God understands it more than you think. But hear this very gently. The thing you are holding on to the tightest may be the very thing that is making you the most weary. And God does not take it from you. He waits for you to willingly place it in His hands. You do not need to let go of everything all at once. You only need to begin with one small thing. One worry, one question, one burden you have carried too long. Tell God about it. No need for beautiful words, no need to get it right, just be honest. Because God is not looking for a perfect prayer. He is looking for a sincere heart. Even if all you can say is, "God, I don't know what to do," that is enough. And from there, healing begins. Not loudly, but deeply. Remember that your journey is not a perfectly straight line. It is a road with many bends. There will be days you feel strong, and there will also be days you feel weak again. That does not mean you are going backward. It simply means you are human. God is not disappointed when you are weak. He draws nearer to you in precisely those moments. He does not love you because you are strong. He loves you because you are His child. And that love does not change, no matter how your circumstances may change. There is a truth I want you to carry with you, even after this video ends. God has not forgotten you, even when you feel left behind. God has not abandoned you, even when everything around you seems to be collapsing. God is not silent because He does not care. He is silent because He is working in ways you have not yet seen. Some doors may be closing, but not all of them are losses. Some doors close to protect you, and other doors are being prepared to open at exactly the right time. So today, instead of trying to understand everything, choose to trust. Instead of trying to control every outcome, choose to surrender. Instead of carrying every burden alone, allow God to carry it with you. You do not need to move fast. You only need to keep moving. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be honest. And every small step you take in faith will lead you to the place God has prepared for you. If your heart feels even slightly lighter, that is not a coincidence. That is a sign that God is touching you, healing the parts you thought were too far gone. Hold on to this moment. Come back to it when you need to. And do not forget that you are not alone. If you have not yet written the Confession of Faith, write it now as a marker for your journey. And if you want to continue being reminded that you are loved and guided, subscribe to this channel. We will continue together, one step at a time, in the light and peace of God. And even after everything you have heard, I know there is still a part of you whispering, "But what if nothing changes this time either?" That is not a lack of faith. That is the trace left by the times you dared to hope and were hurt. You have learned to protect yourself by not expecting too much, so that if disappointment comes, it will not wound you further. But God does not work within the limits that the past has placed upon your heart. He is not bound by what has happened before. He sees what you cannot yet see. And even when you cannot bring yourself to hope for big things, God is doing things greater than you imagine. Perhaps you are asking, how do I believe when I feel nothing at all? Faith is not always a powerful emotion. Sometimes it is a very small decision, repeated every day. A decision to keep getting up, to keep praying, to keep believing even while your heart is still trembling. God does not require you to feel strong. He only invites you to walk, even while you are still weak. And each small step, though you may not notice it, is carrying you out of the darkness. Light does not always come like a lightning bolt. Sometimes it comes like dawn, very slowly but surely. Imagine standing in a dark room where you have been so long that you have forgotten what light looks like. When light begins to creep in, it does not instantly illuminate everything. Rather, gradually, corner by corner begins to appear. That is exactly how God works in your life. He is not merely changing circumstances. He is opening your eyes so that you can see in a new way. The things that once filled you with fear will no longer hold the same power. And what you once thought was an ending may only be a beginning. You are not as stuck as you think. You are simply in a season whose full meaning you have not yet grasped. Every journey has stretches of road we do not want to travel, but that are necessary to reach where we need to go. God is not leading you astray, even when the path seems winding and hard to understand. He is guiding you, step by step, even when you do not recognize His guidance. And one day you will look back and see that not a single step was without purpose. Even the worst days played a part in bringing you to where you needed to be. Hold on to one promise in your heart today. What you are going through is not more powerful than the plan God has for you. What you are feeling is not greater than the love He has for you. What you are afraid of does not exceed the protection He is placing over you. You may be weak, but God is not weak. And when you have no strength left, that is precisely when He begins to act most powerfully. So, if you are still here, if you are still listening all the way to these final moments, take that as a sign that you are not finished, that your story is still being written, a sign that God is still at work, even if you cannot yet see the full picture. Rest in that, not as surrender, but as trust. Let your heart be made lighter, even just a little, and carry that peace into tomorrow. And remember, you can always come back here whenever you need to be reminded that you are loved. And when you step out of this moment and return to familiar life, perhaps everything on the outside has not changed immediately. The problems are still there. The questions are still unanswered. The burdens are still waiting to be faced. But what has begun to change is on the inside. The way you see, the way you feel, and the way you press forward. Because when you hand control back to God, you no longer have to carry all that weight alone. You no longer need to understand everything before you can have peace. You only need to trust that there is one holding what you cannot hold. Slow down a little today, even as the world around you rushes on. Allow yourself to breathe more deeply, to rest more fully, and not to blame yourself for your limitations. You were not made to live in a constant state of exhaustion. You were made to live in peace. And that peace does not come from everything being perfect. It comes from knowing you are not alone. God walks with you in every small step, in every decision, in every moment you think is insignificant. Nothing in your life is too small for God to care about. When negative thoughts return, when anxiety knocks again at the door of your mind, remember the declaration you have spoken. Lord, I release control and trust in you. Repeat it, not as a magic formula, but as a reminder that you have chosen a different path, a path of trust, of surrender, of no longer trying to carry everything alone. Each time you repeat it, you are rebuilding your faith, little by little, and over time, it will become the solid foundation of your life. You do not need to have all the answers to keep walking. You only need enough faith for the next step, enough hope for today. God does not ask you to see the entire road. He only lights enough to take one step, and then one more step, and then another, until you realize you have gone farther than you ever thought possible. This journey is not a race. It is a companionship. And in that companionship, you will not be left behind. If today you still feel weak, remember that weakness is not a sign of failure. Weakness is where the strength of God can be most clearly displayed. You do not need to hide it, be ashamed of it, or overcome it immediately. You only need to bring it to God, exactly as it is. And He will not refuse you, not judge you, not turn His back on you. He will embrace you in that very weakness and transform it into strength in His own way. So when the day ends and you lie down to rest, remember one thing, simple but profound. You have done enough for today. You do not need to prove anything more. You do not need to be perfect to be loved. You are already loved. Let your mind be quiet. Let your heart rest. And as you drift into sleep, trust that God is still at work, even while you do nothing. Tomorrow will come with new mercies, and you will not have to face it alone. And when the light of a new day begins to touch your window, remember, this is not just another morning. It is a new opportunity to begin again. You are not bound by yesterday's mistakes. You are not defined by what did not go as you had hoped. God gives you today as a blank page, not so you must be perfect, but so you can continue the journey. Even if you walk slowly, even if you are still hesitant, it still has value in His eyes. No step is too small when it is taken in faith, and every such step is bringing you closer to what God has prepared for you. There may be moments ahead when you again feel heavy, as though everything is reverting to how it was before. Do not be quick to be disappointed in yourself, because healing is not a straight line. It has days of progress and days that seem like setbacks. But each time you choose to return to God, you are strengthening something deeper within yourself. You are building a relationship, not based on momentary emotion, but on enduring trust. And that is what will keep you standing in your most difficult days. Keep reminding yourself of this truth, whether you feel it or not. God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you. God has not moved away from you. He is present in every small detail of your life, in the things you see and in those you do not. He is arranging, guiding, protecting you in ways you cannot yet fully understand. You do not need to control everything for your life to have meaning. You only need to remain in His presence and let Him do the rest. If today your heart still carries many questions, that is all right. God does not require you to have all the answers before you can come close to Him. He welcomes you with all your questions, your doubts, and your unresolved fears. You do not need to clean up your soul before coming to God. You can come just as you are. And in that process, He will heal gradually, guide gradually, transform you gradually. No rushing, no forcing, only patient and unchanging love. Dear friend, if there is one single thing you carry with you from this video, let it be peace. Not the peace that comes from everything being resolved, but the peace that comes from knowing you are not alone. You are seen, you are understood, and you are loved more deeply than you can imagine. Hold on to that in your moments of weakness, in your moments of weariness, in your moments of wanting to give up. Because it is in precisely those moments that God is closest to you. And He will not let you walk through all of this alone. And perhaps right now, as you listen to these final words, a very gentle feeling is beginning to stir within you, like a soft breeze after a long storm. You do not yet have all the answers. You cannot yet see everything clearly, but you sense something settling within. that is not a coincidence. That is the peace God is placing in your heart, quietly, gently. Do not be quick to brush past this feeling. Do not let the noise of your thoughts pull you back to the old, restless state. Stay with it for a moment. Breathe deeply. Let it seep into every part of who you are. Because sometimes healing begins not with a dramatic change, but with a small, quiet peace like this. If you have walked with me all the way to this point, I want you to know that you have done something very important for yourself. You paused, you listened, and you allowed your heart to open, even just a little. That is not easy, especially for someone who has grown accustomed to protecting themselves from pain. But it is precisely in that openness that God begins to work more deeply. He does not force you to change. He only invites you to remain in His love. And from there, everything else will be gradually transformed. Remember that this journey does not end when this video ends. This is only a small resting point. A moment to be reminded that you are not alone. Tomorrow, you will continue walking. It may still be difficult, but you will not walk as you did before. You will walk with an awareness that there is one walking beside you, upholding you. And even if you forget that in some particular moment, God does not forget you. He is still there, patient, waiting for you to return. If you felt touched, do not keep this only for yourself. Share this video with someone you know who is weary, anxious, or has lost their way. Perhaps they have not said it aloud, but they need words of comfort just as you did. And you can become the bridge that helps them find the peace they are searching for. Sometimes, one small act of yours can make a great difference in another person's life. And that is also how God's love spreads, from one person to another. Before we close, return one final time to the declaration you spoke. Lord, I release control and trust in you. Keep these words in your heart. Not only today, but in the days ahead. When you feel anxious, remember them. When you feel weary, return to them. And each time you repeat them, you are choosing trust. You are choosing peace. Dear friend, your story is not over, and the most beautiful part may still lie ahead. God is still writing that story, line by line, with perfect wisdom and perfect love. You may not yet see the full picture, but you can trust the one who is painting it. Walk in peace, rest in trust, and live in the love you have received. And whenever you need to be reminded once more, come back here. We will continue this journey together. God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you, and He will lead you to the good place He has prepared for you. Before we truly close, take one more moment to stay with yourself. Unhurried, undistracted by anything outside. Perhaps you have grown used to filling every silence with noise, with work, with endless thoughts. But right now, in this stillness, you are allowed to pause, allowed simply to be present. God does not demand that you say anything more or prove anything more. He only wants you here, in the peace He is giving you. And in that stillness, you will begin to hear what you could not hear before. There is a truth, very gentle, but also very powerful, that I want you to carry in your heart. You are not what you have been through. You are not your mistakes, your failures, or your wounds. You are a person created with value, with purpose, and with unconditional love. No matter how much life has caused you to doubt that, the truth remains unchanged. God does not look at you through the lens of your past. He looks at you through His love for you. And that love is not diminished, not altered, not withdrawn. Perhaps you have thought that you must fix everything yourself before you deserve peace, that you need to become better, stronger, or more perfect for God to hear you. But God's peace is not a reward for perfection. It is a gift for those who open their hearts. You do not need to become a different version of yourself to be loved. You only need to come to God as you are, with all your imperfection. And in that very truth, you will find the freedom you have long been searching for. Carry one small but deeply meaningful decision into tomorrow. Not a decision to transform your entire life overnight, but simply to take one more step. Perhaps that means taking one quiet minute to pray, or simply breathing and remembering that you are not alone. Perhaps it means choosing not to let anxiety govern your thoughts for one moment. Small steps like these, when repeated, create changes greater than you expect. And God will be there, in every one of those small steps, guiding you gently. Dear friend, if at some point in the days ahead you find yourself falling back into darkness, please do not be afraid. Darkness does not mean the light has gone. It only means you cannot see the light in that moment. God is still there, still at work, still holding you in His arms. Even when you cannot feel it, His presence has not left. Return to the words you heard today and let them remind you that you are not alone. And little by little, the light will return, like dawn after a long night. And now, as you prepare to leave this space, carry peace with you as a companion, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a foundation you can return to at any time. You do not need to hold on to it perfectly. You only need to return to it when you lose your way. Because that peace does not come from you. It comes from God. And He does not take back His gifts. Go forward, with a heart just a little lighter, with a small but real hope. And remember, God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you. And He walks with you every single step.